In this video, I want to give you my first impressions of the Canon Powershot SX730. I recently got this camera, so let's start with the unboxing. So there we go, that's what's in the box. So this is it, the Canon Powershot SX730 HS. So first of all, I want to talk about how compact this camera is, because that was one of the main factors why I decided to go with a compact camera versus a mirrorless camera or an SLR. So if you have a look at this, it is really compact, and this is what I love about this camera. I can actually fit it into the side or the back pocket of my shorts, and the other great thing is I had a camera case that I used with the Powershot 710, which is this camera case, and this camera fits right into that. I had to make a slight modification and cut out some of the additional padding, but this camera fits in here perfectly, and I can zip it closed, and there we go. Okay, let's talk about the main features of this camera, and I'm not going to go into the details of the specs. Like, these are the reasons why I chose this camera. It has got a 40x optical zoom. As I've mentioned before, I really love the zoom feature because I love to shoot wildlife, I love to shoot scenes, and I don't want to have to put on a different lens. I want to be able to zoom in, get the shot. Here we go, showing you the zoom. That's the 40x optical zoom. So it's got 40x optical zoom and then an additional amount of digital zoom, but I generally always disable the digital zoom, because the digital zoom, as soon as you go into digital, it starts getting pixelated and fuzzy. So I disable that in the settings and I just stick with optical zoom. Then the next feature that is really awesome is the flip up screen. And this, if you're a vlogger, is really important. If I just power it on, you'll be able to see that I'm filming on the iPhone here, and you can see that if I am now shooting like this, I can see myself in the screen as I'm vlogging or as I'm taking photos. So this is a great feature for taking selfies and for vlogging. And it just flips down just like that. Next up, I want to talk about the image stabilization. This camera has a really impressive optical image stabilization. So if you're walking or if you're driving, whenever you're moving and you're filming or taking a photo, it does an amazing job of keeping that image stable and not to create that jello effect like other cameras. Then next, let's talk about sound. This camera does not have an external mic input, which is unfortunate, but it does have the mic at the top here. You can see that's the microphone. And I've definitely found that filming outside with wind, that you get that wind noise, and you could, I guess, stick something over the top here to prevent that wind being heard in the audio. But what I've also heard is that flipping up the screen actually protects the microphone from the wind. So if the wind's coming from the back and you've got the screen up, then you protect the microphone. Here's some examples of the audio that I've shot with this camera. This is a quick outside test using the onboard sound of the Canon SX730. Obviously this camera doesn't have a external microphone input, so the microphone, which is right above the camera there, should do the trick. test it with wind and see how it performs. Awesome. This is a demo vlog using the onboard audio, and my voice is fairly normal sound volume wise. If I speak a bit louder, this is a little bit louder. Another quick test with the audio. This is holding the camera in front of me. This is going a little bit closer. So yeah, you'll see it's not always perfect, but generally I must say I'm really impressed. And having the convenience of not needing to attach an external mic is huge for me, because when I'm out and about, I don't want to have to think about attaching a mic and plugging it in or having an L bracket. As soon as it gets too complicated, I feel like I'm going to miss the shot. So yeah, the other thing is that it does have a flash. It's tucked away here. You just clip that and it pops up. So if you need to have a flash, you can pop that up and it'll fire. So that's brilliant. A few small other things that I really like about this camera is, if you have a look, the shutter button at the top here, that's the dedicated shutter button to take a photo, and then here's the dedicated filming button. I really like the positioning, and then I do like this rubber grip here on the back and also on the front. It's kind of naturally where you'd hold the camera. The speed of the processor, definitely a lot faster than on the 710. So the time it takes to store the data onto the SD card is a lot faster. So that's always a plus. And then yeah, as expected, sort of the tripod mount, and also really like, you know, where you can attach this strap. I generally, while traveling, always keep it, you know, around my arm like this when I'm shooting, in case I drop the camera. So that's awesome. Then here you've got the dial to select the different modes. You've got automatic, you've got video mode, you've obviously got your manual mode. So this camera also does have manual settings if you want to switch it to manual settings and, you know, select your shutter speed or your exposure. You can do that. I generally shoot on auto. I might be playing around with the manual settings, but often I just keep it on auto unless I'm trying to do something special. And then the build quality is really solid. It feels great in your hand. It's a little bit chunkier than the previous Powershot that I had, but I don't mind that. And then before I forget, some recommended accessories or add-on for this camera is definitely getting another battery, because if you're going to be shooting while traveling, you're going to want to have a spare battery in your pocket. I got one of these. So this is the spare battery that works with this camera. It's not the Canon battery, but it's sort of a generic, but it works fine. Then also you will need an SD card. The camera doesn't come with an SD card, and I also highly recommend purchasing some kind of protective case. I've got this rigid case, which I recommend. I wouldn't recommend getting a soft case, because I have heard that sometimes with these power zoom cameras is that if they're in a soft case and by mistake you push the power button, that they power up inside the case and then the lens gets damaged. So I would definitely recommend something similar to this, something hard to protect it. The other thing I wanted to add was these Powershot cameras have Wi-Fi and Bluetooth built in. So using the Canon Connect app on your smartphone, you can connect the camera to your phone, and it's really simple to transfer videos and photos. With the previous Powershot that I had, it wasn't as simple to connect the two and pair the two, but I've tested it with this new camera and it's working really well. So that is another reason why I really enjoy this camera, because if you're out and about, you snap a few pictures, you want to share them via WhatsApp or iMessage or put them up on social media, the Canon Connect app lets you connect to the camera and download them to your smartphone. So yeah, another great feature. So all in all, I'm really happy that I got this camera. I'm so excited about filming and shooting on it going forward. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add in some sample footage and some sample photos that I've taken on this camera in case you're interested to see what it can produce. So I'll add those in here. So that's it. I hope you found this video interesting and also helpful. If you are looking to purchase a travel camera or a vlogging camera, I highly recommend the Powershot SX730. I'll leave the links in the description below. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments below. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and I'll chat to you soon. Cheers.